Now, first up, another star we were lucky enough to feature before the world claimed him. He's a man from the Glasgow shipyards who was merely windswept and interesting when we first met, but is now a global superstar. Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Connolly! Your sing tune, The Archers, eh?
Don't go! Please don't go, it's the only television I get. Nobody else wants me.
No.
Please,
is that true? Wherever you go in the world, you're rejected by talk shows.
Rejected by everybody except you.
Absolutely. Well, that's my job, for taking stray dogs, you know. This is what... Now, listen, first of all, first things first, happy birthday.
Thank you very, very much indeed.
65.
I'm 65. I'm an old age pensioner.
Right.
Which is very, very weird. People keep congratulating me as if I've done something. You know, it's like you've just finished the marathon, I've just stayed awake for 65 years. Well, it's weird, though, getting old. Weird things happen to you. You're like, my nose hair has accelerated. You know, all my other hair just grows at the same old speed, and I'm grateful to have some. But my nose hair I used to trim it once every 14 years or something. But now it's like 3 times a week. And I was thinking about it. I said, why is this? You know, you take it for granted your body knows what it's doing. So you think, what's it doing? What's going to happen to me that I'm going to need long nasal hair to deal with? If I tie it on top of my hair or something. Or maybe it's the ultimate comb over like that. It saves the underarm stuff coming over the top.
It grows in, so I mean, ears too. Your ears get full
Well,
of hair.
I haven't seen my ears in a long time, so I don't really care how much hair's there. But this stuff is just extraordinary. It grows over the top of my moustache and makes it look as if I've got a beak at the front. And I'll tell you another thing, it's really weird. And it's been happening for about 10 years. I'll be washing myself in the morning, I'll look in the mirror, and I'll have one hair growing out of my forehead, which definitely wasn't there the night before. Sometimes it's here, but most of the time it's... And I said, I had a bit of beauty about this length. And I said to Pam, look, there it is. And she went, "Chee," and pulled it out. I said, I wanted that. I wanted to show people that.
What else about growing old, though? I mean, are there any virtues to growing old?
Yeah.
There are.
Well, there's like... I used to think about going to bed to have sex, and now I just think about going to bed.
That's a blessing, is it?
I think, oh, it'd be great to get to bed. But the biggest terror I have of growing old is smelling of pee.
Are you on the stage yet?
I don't smell of pee, but I live in terror of smelling of pee. And I often wonder if I do smell of pee, because it might be like, you know, you can't smell it when it's you.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? When you go to a farm, when you first arrive at a farm, you go, good Jesus, how can these people live with this? And then 10 minutes later, you're going, oh, that smells away, there must have been a breeze. You just get kind of used to it. Another thing is involuntary noises. I've started making involuntary... I don't mean just like... I mean, it's like, I pick things up and I go, well, there you go. It's like old guys. I remember old guys doing it. Oh, Jesus. And getting out of a chair. No, Jesus. But my cure for that is to change the conversation so as they don't hear you doing it. So you think, I must get out of the chair. So you start a conversation and what about Iraq? Isn't that whole thing a dreadful mess? And they'll go, I know, it's terrible. And then you go, the whole thing's a disgrace if you ask me. And don't even get into a beanbag chair. You might never get out. After you're 35, don't go near a beanbag. You'll be flopping about like a turtle on its back. You have to make excuses. You say to the kids, on you go off to bed. I want to watch Discovery Channel here. There's a great programme about bats shitting in a cave. And then when they're gone, you can roll onto the floor.
Oh, dear.
And Scarlett! My daughter Scarlett. They were making a birthday cake for me, and she announces at the top of her voice, "You're in 4 boxes of candles, Dad." Apparently there's 20 in a box. I said, "Keep your bloody voice down." They light the candles, they put on an asbestos suit and a welder's helmet, you know, paint coming off the wall.
Did you ever imagine, though? Do you remember the first time we met was about 1974, 75, the first show you ever did? The first television show, I think, in this country, certainly
Yes.
ever did, yeah. And
How brave were you?
well, no, it wasn't brave at all. I mean, how inspired were we to do it?
Oh, thank
but
you.
I mean, but the extraordinary thing about it was just one joke, wasn't it, that did it, that changed everything.
It was amazing, and it made me famous overnight. It was the weirdest experience of my life because my manager at the time, Frank Lynch, we were driving into the studio to do your show, and a football supporter in Valencia, a Scottish supporter, had told me it. He just told me the joke in the street, and I just leant against the wall laughing. I've never met the guy again. I'd love to shake him by the hand. But I was saying to my manager, "I'm going to tell that joke, I think." And he said, "Oh, don't even think about it. It's too dirty for television."
In those days, it was.
It was.
It's outrageous.
It was a wild
but the
joke.
next morning, it's kind of, you became that sort of star. Let's be reminded, this is 1974, 75. Amazing.
Isn't it extraordinary?
Of its time, it was extraordinary.
I'll tell you the weirdest thing that happened. When I did the show, it was a Saturday, and I was going home to Scotland on the Sunday morning, and a Chinese guy at Heathrow asked for my autograph. I thought, "Oh, God, I'm famous." And I signed it for him, but when I got to Glasgow Airport, I'd go off the plane and come through the airport itself, people all started to clap.
Oh, really?
They'd all been watching it on television. They'd never heard stuff like that before. And it has changed. Humour has, since those early days, has changed so radically.
Yeah.
I was just doing an English tour there, and I was telling the audience that in Bournemouth, I did a concert on the Saturday night, and on the Sunday I had a day off, and I was walking along the beach, and I've often wondered what I've done to people, what's become of me. I was walking in the wind, it was the winter, and I was walking along in my little jacket, and I hear a guy running behind me. "Billy, Billy, Billy!" And oh, Christ, I thought I was on my own. And I turned around, it's an older guy, probably the age I am now, with a little boy. And he's going, "Billy, Billy, Billy!" And the boy, I'll never forget, it's called Gavin. The man was Scottish, the boy was English, must be his granddad or something. He says, "Would you give Gavin your autograph?" And I said, "Sure." It was to Gavin, "Best wishes, Billy Connolly." Gave him it, and they walked away, and I went up on my walk, and then I hear behind me, I thought, "Oh, Christ, they're back. Billy, Billy!" And he says, "Look, Gavin's given me brain damage here." He says, "Could you tell him to fuck off?" I said, "What?" He says, "Gavin wants you to tell him to fuck off." So I said, "OK, Gavin, give me your book." And I go, "Fuck off, Gavin." He shut the book and I said, "Now fuck off." And he went, "Yes! Yes!"
How amazing.
What's that?
I don't know what that is at all. It all passes me by.
It's just, it takes my breath away.
When you were growing up, though, in the tenements in Glasgow, I mean, did you have any notion that you were different? I mean, I want to ask you this question because there was a wonderful quote from somebody who interviewed you, called you a one-man species. Did you feel different?
No, I don't. I feel the same as everybody else. But
But did you have a notion that you were going to make it? You were going to get out of that? Did you?
Yeah.
But how did you know? I mean, what was it you were going to do?
It was the kind of dream I had of no, it wasn't really a dream. I feel really stupid saying it. But I kind of took it for granted that I was going to be okay, that I was going to be famous, and that would be all right, and everything would be fine. And I accepted it as a kind of dream, but about 75% of me took it as reality.
Yeah.
And I started to kind of live it. And I think that's where it is. I think it's belief. It isn't, you hear people say, "Hang on to your dream," and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. It's a bit Disneyland for me. But I think if you actually believe something, there's a great chance that it might happen. I know that if you set your sights low, that'll definitely happen. So there's no difference, I think, in setting your sights high. In your own head, you don't need to tell anybody. I remember telling the science teacher at school, Bill Sheridan, he was going round the class asking what everybody wanted to be, and they all wanted to be marine engineers. It's Glasgow, get onto a boat and sail the world, and da-da-da. That Scottish engineer. "She can't take the pressure, Captain." Oh, it's in every movie that was ever made.
Right, yeah.
Well, it's just, He came to me and he said, "What do you want to be?" And I said, "A comedian." And everybody exploded with laughter.
So you knew then you wanted to be a comedian?
I wanted to be a comedian. I'd seen Jimmy Logan and all these
But
guys.
is it a compulsion? Do you have a compulsion to make people laugh?
Yeah.
In every circumstance?
Not now, I don't.
You don't now?
But then I did.
You did, yeah.
But just for myself, really.
Yes.
And sometimes it's agony. Like, if you go to the airport, they'll always say, "Did you pack your bag yourself?" Now, if you're a comedian, you have to do this. You know, when I'm going on planes, they say, "Did you pack your bag yourself?" And Pamela's going, "Don't." I'm just desperate to say, no, a big Arab guy in the hotel. A nice big man. What was his name? Mohammed. Yeah, I saw it in his flying license. Go, there's an urge to do it all the time.
Yeah. What about your music? Because, I mean, you seem to have neglected that. Did I hear you writing a musical?
Oh, well, Jesus, I wonder if I can even remember it. I was thinking of writing a Middle Eastern musical called Saddam, You're Rocking the Boat. The chorus will all have ukuleles, and the people all said, "Saddam, oh, Saddam, you're rocking the boat." And a big picture of Yasser Arafat will come down at the back and go, "Oh, Yasser, that's my baby. Oh, Yasser, don't baby." And then a big staircase will appear, and Colin Powell will come down one side, and Condoleezza Rice down the other side. Condoleezza! Condoleezza! And then George W.'s going to come on. Listen, listen, mushroom clouds of fire. Listen, listen, mushroom clouds of fire. It's nuclear, it's nuclear, it's nuclear.
It's very good. Yeah.